easy to make us scapegoats, as you say, but it's very difficult for the farmer to listen that. And we need to say this what COPA is really making, all what agriculture brings to society, bring to territories, and also, since Ukraine you are, everybody sees that food is strategic. Farming is a food security issue, and Patrick, this really plays into the European elections that we have coming up this year. And I'm looking at some of these parties, Alternative for Deutschland in Germany, Rassemblement National in France, the Sweden Democrats, Fidesz in Hungary, the Brothers of Italy, the Dutch Far Right, I can go on. Do you think that angry farmers are being exploited by the far right?
It's fair to say that there was a number of far-right political groups that have tried capitalising on farmers' protests, especially through social media campaigns. And as you said, this already points towards the elections coming up later this year. Agriculture is always a hot issue for Europe, because such a large share of the European budget. Farming communities might generally be more conservative, but they're not aligned with far-right ideologies. And we've seen also that the German Farmer Association has clearly distanced itself from our farming groups that tried to influence and hijack the protests. It's also important to know that far-right groups do not bring their farmers into the past. They're probably even known less also about the practical solutions that are needed to achieve sustainable food systems transformation and climate change.
It does get quite murky, doesn't it, Christiana? There is a lot of tension in the industry and welcome back to the agenda. Well, farmers in Europe are taking to the streets in protest. Those in the global south too are facing real issues over the questions of sustainability and food security, as well as a widening gap between north and south. At the recent World Economic Forum in Davos, I spoke to the head of the UN's International Fund for Agricultural Development, Alvaro Lario.
Well, we very much focus on small-scale farmers, on that last 10 miles all over the world. And it's true that we're seeing a lot of the countries sometimes going with specific bilateral initiatives, but still we very much focus on multilateralism. And China is also trying to play smart like many of the other, I would say, medium and high-income countries. And we just saw that COP28 was in our focus area, which is sustainable agriculture, small-scale farming. We saw a leaders declaration of 160 countries, and that's what they will take together. And I think that's the type of initiatives we want to see on sustainable agriculture and climate action, how we can actually come together. So our message is also that multilateralism is still there. It's a way to really address many of the global public challenges. And one of them for sure is climate change. So that's no step for any country. We will be all affected by it.
You mentioned multilateralism, and that's something that Premier Li Qiang brought up in his speech here at Davos. He said it has come with your rule. What do you make of that?
Well, I think in our case, in the case of agriculture, it's very clear that the reality is that the World Trade Organization, there hasn't been any major advances for the last 2-3 decades. So I know in crossing the leader, the DG is right now looking at what could be the conversation, how can we really get that. That's the moment that we are in to really move forward and make sure that we are addressing some of the global challenges in terms of poverty at the same time that we are being fair in that transition that we are currently having in terms of food system, because climate change will remain. So it's very complex, but we need forums, like for example the World Trade Organization, where many of these issues are being discussed.
Of course, your goal is to eradicate poverty, eradicate hunger. It's no mean feat, is it? So what, right now, would you say is the biggest impediment to that?
Well, China is a very good example how they managed to eradicate poverty, and what we're seeing still is that a lot of countries don't focus enough on local production, on giving these small-scale farmers access to finance, access to water, access to credit, really land ownership. And one of the impacts we're seeing after the Ukraine war is actually that many countries are realizing how vulnerable they are to external shocks. So not focusing on monocultures, trying to diversify crops, trying to make sure that you have a minimum